Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Counselor's Couch 101. I'm Jim Stump. I thank you for your comments. And if there's anything you'd like to talk about, or things you'd like to share, or questions you'd like to raise, please send me an email at counselorscouch101 at mail.com. I was talking to a lady the other day, and she asked me, she said, how come I can never say what I want to say? And I said, well, let's think about that for a minute. Let's talk about it. I said, what happens to you? She said, well, I get flustered when I'm talking to someone. My mind gets all jumbled up. I hear all this kind of a noise in my head, and I can't think of the words. I can't form the sentences. I can't say anything. It's really frustrating. It's annoying me, and it's affecting my life and my work, etc. Because this happens often. I said, okay, well, let's explore this a little bit, right? And we started thinking about when she started noticing this kind of feeling, how early in life, right? Because usually these things have very, very early beginnings. I've said this many times, but it's true. These things that go on mentally, emotionally, they have beginnings. They come from somewhere. If we can find out where that somewhere is, sometimes we can dissipate the effect of it in current time, right? So we're talking about it, and she started talking about her childhood and etc. And finally, she told me that she was remembering that in her family, she was never allowed to talk, right? And she got the feeling that whatever she was thinking was not important. No one wanted to listen to it. No one wanted to hear it. So she got in the habit of remaining silent, right? I think the adage of her family was children were to be seen and not heard, right? So they never asked her opinion. She was lower down in the list of siblings, so she had older siblings and parents and etc. who were conversing at the dinner table and around the house and normal things. And she was kind of like not asked her opinion or to participate in any kind of discussion or her ideas or whatever. She was never asked. This carried over into school. She said that she had a hard time answering questions out loud in classes, right? The teacher would ask her something and she would just sort of ball up, and she said she could jumble up and shut down. And when we started to talk about this stuff, once again, she started to get in touch with those feelings from those early experiences in her life. And as she got in touch with those feelings, she started to get sadder and sadder and quieter and quieter. And she realized how much it hurt her to not be recognized, to not be seen, to not be cared about, or to be appreciated for her ideas. And that was what was going on. So she said, now I asked her if there were any thoughts, because sometimes, people will tell me that they're hearing certain words like you're an idiot, or you're stupid, or you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or whatever. And she said, no, she didn't have anything like that going in the back of her head. She said it was just a jumble. It was just a jumble of noise going on, and that's all she knew. And she couldn't formulate words because all this turmoil going on below the surface that she could feel but couldn't put words to. So we practiced calming exercises, just breathing, relaxing, calming down, and just sort of letting go of all the tension in the body and allowing her to re-experience some of that stuff from the past. And I said to her, give me an example of what happened. And she gave me an example of something happened in her family. And I said, what would you have liked to have said? What kind of point would you have liked to make? And she thought about it a bit, and she slowly started to tell me, what she would have liked to have said at that time. It wasn't that it was important what she had to offer, but what was important was that she was allowed to participate. So she finally said, what I would want to say to those people at that time is, why won't you listen to me? That was it. It was not about the subject at hand. The hurt came from the idea of being disrespected and not listened to, right? So she would have liked to express her feelings of the moment and the fact that it was hurting her. That's what she would have liked to have told the people in her family. And as she started to tell me this story, she started crying very quietly, but tears were going down her face. And she remembered all the negativity she had absorbed in her family for being ignored, It's like I've said many times. Someone once told me, and it's a good image, said it's like I was paint on the wall. Everybody knows you're there, but nobody pays attention to it. And she just felt disrespected and dishonored and not a part of anything. As she started to cry, I said, okay, can you express those feelings now, right here and now in our conversation? And she said yes, and she told me what she was feeling, etc. And I said, okay, now in the future, when you want to talk to people and you're starting to get balled up, the first thing to do, always, of course, is to calm your body, calm your emotions. And in her case, I said, calm the noise in your head. Just calm it down, let it go. Practice deep breathing when you're away from those situations so that you can use the technique when you need it. Calm yourself down, take a deep breath, exhale, let it all float away. And then just think of what you want to say and use simple words and short sentences, because we're going to practice this. We're not going to be 100% successful the first time out. We're simply going to practice. And over time, you're going to get better at this. I said, think of what you want to say. What's the main point? Put it in a nice, short, simple sentence, and then just say it, right? So she thought of some examples from work. She said things like, one response would have been in one situation, we could check the visitor's log. That's all she needed to say. She didn't need to go into detail or anything else. Just say a simple sentence. We could check the visitor's log, and that would be her suggestion and her contribution to that particular situation. So we sort of practiced that a little bit, and she said, yeah, I could do that. And she started coming up with different sorts of examples of ways she could use simple, straightforward sentences to start her participation in the verbal exchanges she was having with people. So this is a work in progress. She's going to go out and try these things out and then get back to me and tell me how they worked, how well they worked or how well they did not work. But that was the idea, to practice these things to get better over time. Start with something simple, but before any of that, calm yourself down, get rid of the anxiety and the stress and the tension that you're feeling in your body, clear your mind, and say a simple statement of what you're thinking, right? Just to practice it. So, how come I can't say what I'm thinking, right? Well, it's because all that noise, all that turmoil that's below the surface, like I say, it's like the lava at the center of the earth. It's boiling. It's going all the time. It never goes out, right? It's always there. And we have to calm that down in order to accomplish what we want to accomplish. I'd like to add this before I go. Folks, remember this. All these things that have been coming up recently with people I talk to, they all happen in early life. Respect your children. Listen to them. Include them. Let them feel honored, and their ideas are important. Now, a lot of times children are going to say things that probably don't have a lot of impact on what's going on in the family or in the situation. That's okay. Listen to them anyway. Honor them for participating. Thank them for sharing their ideas. And when you're in family discussions or talks, like around a dinner table, etc., include them. Ask them what they think and make sure that they have time to express themselves, right? Because this is where it all starts, and this is where it all ends up being a problem later on in life, right? This lady that I mentioned today, she's not a child. She's in her mid-40s, and this stuff is bothering her, right? It carries on forever. These wounds, they just don't go away. They affect us well into adulthood. And we go back and sort of fix these things that happen in early life, and then life gets better in the current and the present time, right? So that's just a thought for today. Calm your mind, say what you want to say in a simple way, and practice it, and you're going to get better at it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had any experiences of not being able to express yourself. Let me know if you can trace that back to any sort of early experiences in life and figure out where that kind of self-doubt came from and how you can eradicate it in the present time. Just a thought. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you next time. Have a blessed day.